So, hi everybody, and welcome to our live site reviews. In this session, we'll look at the copywriting on the number of websites. We had lots of applications of websites, which is really great. And we're going to look at the content of those sites. We've selected 4, one local website, one blog, one e-commerce site, and one photography site. So there is something for everybody. And we'll first do a quick round of introductions so you know who is who. And well, Marieke, maybe you want to start off. Of course, you've already talked, but maybe you can just introduce yourself quickly. Oh, you have to unmute. I think you're still muted.
Ah, I lost where my mouse was going. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. But now I found it again.
Yeah.
I'm going to introduce myself, but you have to introduce yourself still, right? Are you going to do that at the end?
Oh yeah, I thought doing that at the end. Well, I can introduce myself first if you like. Okay, I'll do that. So I'm Willemien. I'm a team lead of our blog team. Well, I lead the team and I organize and strategize the content we write mostly for the blog. And I love doing this. So that's my introduction. So now you can go, Marieke.
I'm so sorry. My entire thing is not working today. My name is Marieke van Rakt. I'm the CEO of Yoast. I do a lot of blogging on Yoast, mainly about copywriting and site structure. And I also enjoy writing on my own blog. So that's something I do as well. Yeah, I talk about readability and I just did a talk about readability, and I do a lot about site structure as well. And apart from that, I'm just busy running Yoast. Yes.
Edwin, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Edwin. And I'm a strategic content specialist at Yoast. One of my main tasks is writing. So I write a lot of the articles you see on Yoast.com are written by me, and I do a lot of research, and I check what Google is up to on a daily basis. So that's my main task, so to say.
That's great. Fleur, you want to be the last but not least, of course.
Of course. Yeah, my name is Fleur Heesen, and I'm the team lead of Yoast SEO Academy, our online courses platform. And together with my team, we create the online courses we offer at Yoast.
That's great. Now let's start with the reviews. So we've selected 4 sites. We've informed the owners, so I really hope that they're joining too as well in this session. If you have any comments or any questions about what we say about your site, please use the Q&A, because yeah, it would be nice if we get a bit of discussion. So use that, and for all the other participants, feel free to to ask questions, of course. So I'll start sharing my screen with the first website, which is a photography website, and it's this one. So I hope you see the right screen now. Okay, great. Marieke, you've taken a look at this website. Do you want to share a bit about what you thought about it?
would love to do that. And I also found my unmute button, so it's going great today. What I wanted to talk about was that for lots of photography sites only offer their photos. And I get that because photos are the most important thing for a photography website. But it can be really beneficial for your SEO to get a lot of text on there as well. And I think in this blog session of this website, they do a beautiful job of trying to combine texts and photos. They have a really fun a way of telling a story with photos. And of course, you can do a lot of image SEO as well, which ranks with your photos, but that's not really my expertise. So I have focused on the text of this website. So I love these blog posts with a lot of images. We have one with the couple shoot, yeah, right? You're looking at those. And I'm convinced that this could really work, and it could even work a little bit better if there are just a few tweaks. I think this is a great way to expose your pictures within texts, and Google loves texts. What I do think is that it would be wise to start off with some proper keyword research. And maybe the site owner already is doing keyword research, which is great, but then I would advise you to repeat it regularly. Think about which terms do you really want to be found for? Maybe ask your customers what they are searching for. Why did they end up with you? Why did they choose to have a photo shoot with you? Were they searching for you online? And which search terms were they using when they did that? What makes you stand out from other photographers? I think if you can answer those kinds of questions and get like a proper keyword research strategy, that would really help you to get more traffic. Then you have articles that are written surrounding a certain term. And even with the recent events things, because there are like this, the making is isolation delicious, that's a really good thing, right? Writing about the things that matter right now, but find out what people are searching for. Just use Google Trends and see if you're using the right words to get your audience to your website. So, and aside from thinking about what you want to rank for, I would suggest to put a little bit more thought in the structure of your text. And for now, the text is mainly following your photos, but it could become more if you put a little bit more thought into what a message of a certain blog post would be. What do you want people to do after they read your blog post? Do you just want them to look at your lovely pictures, or maybe something else? So I love the photos in the blog post about a couple pose workshop. And I would love to do a couple shoot with my husband sometimes. But is that blog post only written to tell your audience about the workshop? Or maybe also because you want them to book a shoot with you? So thinking about why you are writing a blog post, and does it give the right information? And it doesn't have to be salesy all the time, right? You can have like thinking about the question on thinking about that why question will focus your posts a little bit more. So I think if you have that message, if you know what to write about, it will be easier to structure your text. And think about which paragraphs you want to write in what order. In the blog now, the paragraphs are a bit messy, and it's nothing to be embarrassed about because a lot of people do that. But for a reader, it will be harder to scan through such a text because there are a lot of headings, and some paragraphs are only one sentence. That makes it harder to get through that text. And sometimes you use subheadings and sometimes you don't. Make sure you always do that because that helps people to scan through your text. And finally, I would make the blog post a little bit more lengthy because that will give you a bit more chance to rank high, just a little bit more length. So that was my point of view, but I know you all have things to say.
Great, thank you. Maybe Fleur, do you have something to add to this?
Yeah, well, the first thing that I want to say is that I really like the photos on this website. I really like the colors, the lighting. It really gives the website a nice vibe. However, when I ended up on the blog, the first thing I noticed, can you go back to the blog? Yeah. So then the first thing you see, if you go up a bit, yeah, there, you see a really big header. that says, why do a couple shoot? And then you see engagement, wedding tips, and it's not immediately clear what this blog is about to me. You have to scroll down to find that out. So what I'm missing here is a clear heading, a clear introduction of the blog that says, what is this blog about and what do I write about? I did really enjoy the blog post though. They're really, really nice topics. And the same thing actually goes for the pricing page. We can go take a look at that. Yeah, so we see pricing, and then we see another one of those really nice photos, and then a nice quote, but I'm still actually trying to figure out what products you have to offer, what services you have to offer. It would be really good to start with a list of the services that you offer here, so that's immediately clear to your visitors. Yeah, that's my point of view. So I don't know if anyone else has something to add to that.
Edwin, maybe you have to add something to this.
Well, not really. I just like the way you add current events into a blog post about food and get your not just your wedding pictures out there, but also your food pictures. So it's you do a lot more. You show a lot more than just all your wedding pictures. So I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really nice, like you say, that she found her own. I hope you're in this session. Found a way to find a relation between weddings and Corona, and to get a nice nice new blog post about current events, which is always very, very good. I think that's it for this website, because we'll have to go to the other website. There are no questions yet about this website, so I think we can just safely move on. And the next website is the Built by Bees. A very nice product, I think. And Fleur, do you want to share a bit what you thought about this website?
Yeah, I agree with you, Willemien, that these products look really nice. I would definitely want to try one of these special kinds of honey. And I also really like the product descriptions of the products that they offer. But what I did notice on this website is that the blog is actually pretty difficult to find. So it's not in the main menu at the top. So you have to scroll down all the way to the footer menu, actually, to access the blog. Yeah, that tiny link there. And what I noticed on the blog is that the blog is not updated regularly. So the last post that was published was actually from February of 2017. So that's 3 years ago. So I think that could be updated more regularly. And it's also really important to update your content regularly, because then Google sees your site as active and that helps with your overall rankings. And it's also important for your visitors, because then they get to know your products and your brand better. So what I also noticed is that the blog posts have literally the same content as the product pages. So that could be seen as duplicate content, and that's pretty bad, I would say, because then you're competing with yourself in the search results. So you would want to avoid that. That was my point of view.
Thanks, Fleur. Yeah, I've also noticed that there seems to be something wrong with the images here in the blog post. There seem to be double images on the blog posts. And agree on what you say about the blog post. I think this product and the site, it could do so much better if you write nice, amazing content about what to do with these nice products, or how people can use them, what problems would they solve for people, or yeah, it's that I think would make the blog and the site a lot better. Edwin, do you have something to add to this?
Yeah, if you go to the About page, it's fairly thin right now, but there's some great improvements to be made. They list a number of awards they won. If you go down a bit, since April 2017, it garnered 13 major food awards, and that's something they could improve on and show better that their product has been regularly awarded, so that people can know to trust this product. And it doesn't have to be hard to get this in there. Just a few nice pictures or something, and links to the news articles that shown you how you won those prizes. That would be nice.
Yeah, definitely, good catch, because I didn't even notice that this was there.
Yeah.
So definitely something to show off.
Yeah, there's also no information about who's behind this, so that might be a good addition as well.
Yeah, you're right. There's no team page or who invented these products. So I think for people to relate to products, right, or to a shop, it's always good to know who's behind it, or for trust. Yeah. Catch. Marieke, do you have something to add to this?
I think we're all a bit on the same page. I think if we look at that website, we all want to buy honey. So they're doing something incredibly good. And there's so much potential here, because you can write about, because it just screams to have these nice blog posts about why honey is so very important and how this is made. And I think if there could be some informational articles, kind of explainers, people will probably be searching for these great honey products. I think people are searching for those things because it's natural. It's all things that seem to be very popular here. I read somewhere a sentence like, it's a beauty secret that goes back to ancient times, acting as a moisturizing cleanser, exfoliator, and even scar reducer. That really has an interesting promise, and this could really make for a good text. So I think there's lots of potential to rank with some beautifully written blog posts in the search engines. So this is just one big potential site. That's the thing. Yeah.
That's always great, right? To have a lot of potential. And so could you help a bit, like if they thought, okay, well, I have to start writing content, like where should they start?
Maybe do a customer survey. If you have some customers that are really happy, ask them what they really like about your product. If you have new customers, maybe via Google, ask them what they were searching for in Google when they ended up in the website. Get to know those customers, ask them what they would want to read about, because you don't start blogging only to rank high in Google. You should write something that people would want to read. So I think your customers are your first go-to base. Ask them, try to get to know them, get to know why they buy your products, and then you can write some articles about that. So that would be my strategy for this website.
Yeah, I think it often boils down to getting to know your audience really well, right? Yeah. So let's see if there are questions. Not yet. I just really get hungry when I see this website too. Let's see if I had any notes on this. But I think, like you say, we're all really on the same page for this website. An awesome product and lots of potential, but just more content really focused on the audience would benefit this site probably a lot. Let's go to the, and what I noticed, but it's not really a copywriting thing, that it sometimes seems to be slow, especially the homepage. So that might something, well, no, it's quite fast. But before, when I went to this page, it was kind of slow. So that might be something to look at to fix. Let's go to the next website. And this is Abby's website. It's a website on financial education, like it says here. But for me, I looked at this website and I thought, well, there's so much. It looks really nice. I really like the pictures and the colors. And it's quite simple, so it's not too much. But I was a bit confused, to be honest, because I was thinking, what is the purpose of this site? And then I went looking for a blog post, because I thought, okay, it's a blog. But I was actually struggling to find them. So in the end, I found them. I found the blog post, I think, here. And well, then I got to this blog post and I thought, okay, here's the content. But it was a bit confusing to me. I thought, well, if this is a blog, I think I would expect to be a blog menu item, but I couldn't find it. So I thought maybe, well, you can add blog to the menu, but that's probably not solving the problem. I think it would benefit if just the whole structure of the site would get a good look, and for the owner to really think about, what do I want to achieve with this blog? Who is my target? Who is my audience? And what do I want? Yeah, what's the goal of this blog? So there's lots of nice things, the free resources, for instance. But then I thought, well, okay, that seems great, but I think if there would be a little bit more structure in the content, and this structure should come from should come from knowing your audience, doing keyword research, and finding out what you're actually trying to achieve with this website. So that's my main advice for this site, to think about the goal and what you're trying to achieve. Also, I found that it sometimes had money making and then sometimes money saving. So I thought, well, those are two different things for me. So what do you really want to focus on, and who is this advice for? And maybe you have a target group in your head, but I couldn't really. I didn't know it. I couldn't really get it directly from the content. And the other thing is that I would like to know who Abby is, because if she's giving me financial advice, it would be great to know who she is, what her experience is with finances, and is she a financial consultant, or did she have financial problems herself and did she get out of them? also to be able to relate to Abby. Those were the things I thought about this website. I don't know if anyone would really like to add something to this. So, Edwin, do you want to add something here?
No, I think you're right. My main thing with this site is just like you say, who is Abby? I would like to know from someone's website that's called It's Abby. I'd really like to know who Abby is. That's my main issue with this site, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all want to get to know Abby. So, maybe another thing here is that in the free resources there's I think some nice daily planners, but I would like to know like what does that help me with, how to use those, and how does this help my financial situation, like to sell them a bit more. Fleur, do you have something to add here?
Not really to add, no. I think you already addressed the main points that I wrote down too. So my main question was also, who is Abby and why should I trust her? What does she have to offer me? Also, I really like that she shares free resources. That's really cool. But I was missing information there. Like, what could it help me with? What does it? Yeah, what is she trying to achieve with this?
Mm-hmm.
And I also had trouble finding the blog. So yeah, I think it would be a really good thing to add that to the main menu.
Yeah, and maybe what would be, because the one of the menu items is start a blog, but for me it's not clear yet. If I start a blog, how does that help me get my finances, make my finances better? Maybe there is a logic to it, which I don't get, but it's not immediately clear, I think.
No, I didn't really see that connection either.
So, yeah. I did see, do see a oh, there's one open question I see. Maybe I'm not sure if it's about this site, but maybe we can discuss it. It's a question from Monica. Speaking about adding prices, I offer wedding proposal services, and I'm not sure if it's best to indicate prices for the services or not. So it means that they have to contact me first to get a quotation. One of my services has a fixed price, so it's easy to indicate it on the website, but a lot of competitors do not indicate any price. What do you suggest? Marieke, do you have an idea?
You have hard questions to me, right? I understand. So as a customer, you would like to have the prices on the website because that will make it clear what you're offering. But I do understand if your competitors don't do that, that could make you look expensive or not. Depends on how expensive you really are. So I think, but that could be a matter of taste. We usually are really upfront about what we are selling and how expensive it is. And I think if you have, and maybe it's cultural even, because we're from the Netherlands and we tend to be really blunt. So think about cultural things before you take my advice upon this. So I think it can be a good thing to be upfront and to be honest about what you're offering. And especially if your prices are market fair, if they are fit within the market, I would always advise to give as much information as you need. And I get that you want people to email you, but I do get it. So it's a difficult thing. But in our experience, it worked better if you are upfront because people just know what you're having. But that could be a cultural thing. So now I give you a very lengthy answer, which basically comes down to it depends.
Yeah, but I agree with what you say. It's very difficult. I used to work for an American company where I would think, maybe as a Dutch person, like, well, you can just communicate it, right? Especially like what you say, if it's just a normal market price. But then sometimes they're afraid, like competitors look at it and might just add a little. But I would think it's an extra step, right, for your audience to first ask for a price. So it can also work in your advantage if you communicate them right away. If Edwin or Fleur have anything to add to this, please do. No, they fully agree. So for Abby, it's Abby website. Is there anything anyone of us like to add? For Abby? No. Yeah, you do. Okay.
I always want to add something.
Oh yeah, okay. Please add.
Well, it could be a style thing, but in this blog post, every sentence is started on a new line, and so it can be a style thing. A lot of people think it's pretty to start every sentence on a new line, but it does make scanning through your text a bit difficult. So usually people read those first sentences of a paragraph, but you don't really write paragraphs in this article, which makes scanning hard, and you have a lot of scrolling to do because your article becomes very lengthy, right?
Yeah.
So this might also be the case for Google because it has to go, but Google will do that differently. So that could be perhaps something to consider. And I also, because this is the truth, I was already in the blog of this site, and then Willemien says, does this have a blog? And she didn't find it. So it's hard to find the blog posts in the website because Willemien is really smart. It's not because she's smart, she just couldn't find it. And I did find quite a lot of content, but it's hard for me to get there. I have been clicking on the previous button a lot. And if I have a hard time getting there, Google follows links too. It does the same thing. So if Google needs to follow a lot of internal linking in order to crawl a specific page, Google will think that page is not important and will not rank high. So that's something to consider as well. Think about what pages are most important, what do I want to be found for, and then set up your site structure accordingly. Now I'm going to stop talking.
Perfect. Because we need to go to the other website. That's perfect. No, I think you're completely right. I just noticed the previous and next button below the blog post you mentioned. And it's quite difficult to get there. Definitely. So let's go to the next website. It's a website for a chiropractic website for chiropractic. The local business. And Edwin, do you want to tell a little bit about this website?
Yeah, we looked at it quite a bit, and they have a lot going on. It's content-wise, it's actually pretty nice. They describe their services really well. Every service has its own page, and they have a nice page explaining what clients can expect when they could first come visit. It's like rolling out the red carpet for users, so they know exactly what they can expect and what the doctor will do. So that's really nice. They also have a blog, and it's updated regularly with good content, and even content based on current events, like the whole working from home thing that's happening right now. And all these posts are written pretty well, actually. And they have a number of authors. The doctor himself writes, and they have another employee writing blog posts, and these are really well written. They're pretty lengthy. They are linked to services really well. So it's well done, actually. Of course, there are some things that could be improved. The use of images, for instance, on the site. There are a lot of stock photos, and stock photos tend to be a bit overused and don't always convey the correct feeling you want to convey, actually. So that's something they can work on. They maybe even use photos of actual sessions or the doctors in session, so to say. So to make the content come alive a bit more. Also, if you go to the homepage, this is the homepage right now. This is it's actually okay, but the images used here are a bit yeah, they don't really do well, so to say. If you wait a bit for the slider, you see images that almost appear like ads from a newspaper, so to say, and that's not a nice way to promote your content, and it's not something you have to do on your homepage. We can go to the if you go to the Meet a Team page. That's another thing to focus on. It's important as a medical site or something offering medical services. You have to convey a certain amount of trust. People have to understand who you are and what you do and what your background is. So they know they are in good hands if they come visit you. And these pages are a bit messy, so to say, and not every page has the same quality content. So those are pages that could be improved. And you see also on the side there on that page, if you see those testimonial images coming back. The site tends to have a lot of images with text in it, and that's generally not a good thing to do, because Google can't read images in text, text in images, of course. And you see on the right hand side that image of the doctor keeps reappearing, and it's quite no, I wouldn't say disturbing, but it's a bit weird. Another thing, it's a technical thing, but I saw that the site doesn't have a HTTPS connection, an SSL certificate, and that's something that in this day and age every site should have. So that's a technical thing they should look at. And I think that's it for me. Anyone else?
Someone else would like to add something about this website? Fleur, maybe you want to say something?
Yeah, well, I really agree with the points that Edwin addressed. But I had a few minor things that I wanted to address too. Well, first of all, I think the structure of the site could be improved a bit. If we go to the services overview page, we only see 4 services listed, while they offer a lot more services, actually. You can see that if you hover over the services in the menu. So if I go to a services overview page, I expect to see all of the services that they offer listed. And that's not the case right now. So I would say that could be something they could improve. And also, I noticed that they put social share buttons on some pages where that doesn't. They are not relevant there, I would say. For example, if we go to what to expect and then new patient forms. Yeah, you'll see that they have a share button there, but I don't think a lot of people would want to share their new patient forms, I would say, but that's up to you, of course, if you want to share those. And other than that, I also agree that the blog was really nice. They write a lot of nice things about very relevant topics. So yeah, that's really good.
So I think until now we agree on that there's quality content here, but
Yeah.
it could be better conveyed maybe with another design or better organize it a bit better. I think here in the services, I also noticed I had the same thing you had, Fleur, with the difference between between this list and those four. It's strange for me, and I think this actually was a dead link, so it's a small thing, but maybe something to fix. Oh, it's not anymore. They fixed it already. Sorry. Oh, wait, or was it this one? Oh, I thought I could click those, but I can't. Marieke, do you have something to add to this? No.
I always have something to add. So what I actually put some of the blog posts in our readability analysis, and I got like straight green bullets in a few of them. So someone is optimizing their content like really well. So I was really happy about that. But at the same time, I sometimes found it was rather hard to read, even though it's well written. I think that's because of the font. It's pretty small. And that makes it harder to read. And I think the website would benefit if the font is a little bit larger, especially because you're focusing on a broad audience. And I think there will be some older people wanting to get chiropractic as well. And they're usually, they usually wear glasses and don't have the best eyes. So I think the overall font is too small for people. So my father, who is a physical therapist, I'm not making this up. He would say, I can't read this because it's too small. He always wants the letters to be a bit bigger. So that's, I think, something to make it hard to read, especially from a screen. And you're always reading from a screen, so that's a thing. And the other thing is, but I don't know how this is a problem yet, but you're blogging, you're writing so many blogs that it could be that you're, and that's a good thing, but you should be aware that you have this chance that you're actually cannibalizing your own content. Because if you're writing 2 blog posts that are basically a bit the same, then you could be competing with yourself in the search engines. Well, you can solve that by either combining articles, because there are a lot of articles in there, and maybe you can make 2 articles into one really awesome one. But you could also do something in your site structure, in your blog structure, to make sure that you point out to Google, well, this is the one I want to rank highest with. So that's something to consider as well. That's what I wanted to say.
Sorry, I'm muted. I think that's a great final tip because we have to move on to the next presentation. So I'd really like to thank the whole panel for sharing all your knowledge here, and for the attendees who viewed this. I really hope you enjoyed it and learned some new things. And if you want to learn more, we'll have an awesome session after this with John Alderson, and believe me, you don't want to miss that. He's really a great speaker anyway, and it's a really nice talk about implementing schema and how to use it to build your brand and boost your authority. So thanks so much, and have fun with the next talk.